Hey everyone, it's Eternal Realm owner. Welcome you guys. I am a person from a civilized world. Oh, no. Old man SEO. How sad. Mother wanted me to bring you this. No problem. Okay. Thank you. Just get well and make us some of your soap again, please. I am an earthling. An inhabitant of a civilized world. 50 years. It's been 50 years since I fell into this damned world. We were on our way to the company workshop with Director Kim and everyone else, when we were suddenly swept up by a landslide and woke up in a strange world. A giant fox with 3 tails. A 2-headed red snake. Strange men who can fly. We had fallen into the world of immortal novels. Novels I used to read from time to time. Despite that, I knew my coworkers would live better lives than me. All of them except for me. The sage-like beings who descended from above were in awe of my coworkers' mythical talents and took each one into the sky. Only Director Kim and I remained in this world. To be honest, we hoped something special would happen to us too. But we didn't have any special abilities. Without knowing much about this world, all we could do was manual labor. 6 months later, Director Kim said he couldn't live like this any longer, and used all his money to buy a third-rate martial arts book. Within 3 months, he mastered it and became a full-fledged martial artist. He worked for the nation, learned more advanced arts, and eventually left for the Jianghu, leaving me behind. Could something special happen to me as well? But until the end, nothing happened to me at all. After 50 years, I am now just an old man dying from the common cold. I've tried my hardest to live. I learned the language and how to write. Bought a small plot of land, built a house, and made a living making soap. Soap was essentially a new concept here. I started making decent money, until thieves stole my recipe, and their thugs booted me out of the market. Now, if I just had a bit more power. I am waiting for my death, having been refused by this world. What do you want me to do? Why couldn't I? Even if I'm not special, why do I have to continue having things taken away from me? I no longer have the energy to keep my eyes open. If I have been selected, maybe I might have had a small opportunities. That was how I died. And huh? Why am I still alive? Are these the clothes I wore back on Earth? My head. Where are we? I finally realized it. I didn't come to this world without powers. I gained the power of regression. We were just on our company trip, but what's going on? It's the first day. The first day we fell into this strange world. While we were in the SUV, we suddenly got swept up by a landslide. Yeah, the landslide happened, and I saw a bright light. It's hard to remember what happened 50 years ago, though. Hey, Manager SEO. If I've regressed, what should I do now? Most regression stories start with abusing future information. But all I know is how to make soap. Manager SEO Union. Oh, Section Chief. Sorry, I was just surprised. You dozed off while driving on the mountainside. You fucking idiot. You almost got us all killed. I'd forgotten about that. I haven't heard that title in so long. I couldn't tell he was referring to me. Manager SEO, do you want to lose your job the moment we get back? Yeah, Section Chief John Manhwa is the son of... He's the nephew of John Manhwa, a managing director at the company I worked at. He's a lucky bastard who became a section chief at the age of 32 by nepotism. Manager SEO couldn't have avoided that landslide, no matter what he did. This insane bastard was dozing off. That's why we're in this situation. Aren't you mad, Chief-o? Yeah, I definitely dozed off. But the reason I did was because you handed your work over to me. That's why I had to stay up late. Moreover, weren't you supposed to be in charge of driving? Man, this idiot got all of US stranded here. I'm slowly starting to recall my memories from 50 years ago. I was still so shocked back then that I apologized to John Manhwa. I thought I was in the wrong. Then I went on to spend the next 50 years just like that, apologizing to people. Even when a group of bandits trampled over me and took my belongings. Even when a damned martial artist mocked me. Or when a regional official took everything I had in the name of taxes. I kept apologizing. But there was one thing I realized after years of keeping it in. Sure, I have to keep my temper in front of those that I can't handle. But, Section Chief John, I know you're mad. But now's not the time to be pointing fingers. You damn son of a bitch. What? Are you asking for a fight? I don't need to kneel down to someone I can handle. In my past life, I've been beaten up by martial artists countless times. I was beaten up by bandits while getting herbs in the mountains. By more bandits on years of a bad harvest. And even by officials because I couldn't pay my taxes. In that world of violence, I was able to gain something that these people lack. Violence. If you hit someone in the eyes, their fear is amplified. After being beaten up like this, only 2 words instinctively leave your mouth. I'm sorry. I may not have the mythical talents mentioned by those transcendent individuals, or amazing martial arts that would make me famous in the martial arts world. But I do have the ability to change fate. AC. And Manager SEO, how could you do that to your own colleague Dash? I just got so angry there. You're right. I'm sorry if you were all shocked. I won't see these people again until I die. As I was the one who was driving, I apologize for this accident, too. Sure. Section Chief John was being a bit harsh. You couldn't really have done anything there. Even then, you overreacted, Manager SEO. Apologize to him directly. But I'll continue seeing Director Kim. Yes, you're right, Director Kim. Director Kim will become one of the strongest martial artists there is once he gets to learning. If I support him as much as I can in this life, I'm sure I'll get something out of it too. That means I need to get on his good side now. Section Chief John, my reaction was not warranted. I apologize. UF. Anyway, why don't we try to get out of these woods and look for a village? That's the logical thing to do. But Director, common sense has no place in this world. Don't you see something over there? Yes. Here, immortals fly wild, trying to secure their immortality. And the only rule that reigns in this land is the strong devours the weak. The people of this place, the Murim, will fight with swords for wealth and honor. This forest's name is Ascension Path. There is no village, city, or nation anywhere around here. Why don't we set up a shelter somewhere safe? Director, the sun is going to set soon. You're right. What about the car? There's quite a lot of things in there that we packed for the workshop. It's a shame, but we won't be able to find the car. Of course, they won't believe me. I'll just let them look for the car instead of wasting my energy trying to convince them. Let's split up, then. One team can look for shelter, and the other can look for the car. Why don't we get back here before it's completely dark? We were in a landslide while we were in a car. I don't get it. So how did we end up here while the car is gone? I don't get it either. Whoa. This tastes like chestnuts. It's crunchy, right? I got a lot, so have as much as you want. Goodness. It's a pretty serious situation, but we're having fun thanks to you, Manager SEO. I knew you were this dependable even back in the company. You're so diligent. If I remember correctly, you were tired while driving. You're right. Because you had to work late yesterday, too. Our manager is really diligent. It feels like we're camping thanks to this cave he found. Right? In my past life, we found this place only after being lost in the woods for hours. I was just lucky. Buddy, you can just take the compliment. Yeah, I'll enjoy this moment. Tonight will be the last moment. We can laugh like this. I offer my greetings to the Lord of the Forest. Quite the unique scent for a human. Despite having lived thousands of years, I have never smelled humans like you. Manager SEO, what is? AA monster. SH show your manners to the Lord of the Forest. G get on your knees. Every time I come across you humans, I am reminded how foolish and rude you all are. I would usually rip off all your limbs. But since one of you seems to know how to treat me, I shall forgive you. With that being said, you must pay the price for being in my territory. If one of you offer me an arm, I will let you stay here. In my past life, everyone saw this monster and screamed in panic. And we all ended up dead, having angered the fox. But it seems like the fox appreciates my manners this time. Now, who will give me their arm? It's not all our limbs like last time. Just one person's arm. That's all we need to sacrifice. Even a lost arm will be healed by the cultivators who will appear 2 days later. Plus, I've already prepared an herb that'll reduce the pain. I will offer my arm. You know your manners. I will try to make it as painless as possible in return. The herb. It hurts so bad. I thought you might taste different since you smelled different. But you taste the same as the other humans. Actually, you taste worse because of all the impurities in your veins. The herb actually helped a lot with the pain. I apologize that my offering was not good enough. I will allow you to stay for 7 days in my territory. You won't die thanks to my divinity. And Manager SEO. I'll explain. Let's go inside. I met that fox when I left the cave early this morning. The fox told me. The Murim? You mean we're in the Murim? I would have never imagined. Anyway, we'll be safe for a week since I gave up my arm. AA week? What about after? We need to give up. Something else. I'm getting sleepy. I'm going to rest a bit. I hope you understand. Section Chief John. How can you say that? Manager SEO sacrificed his own arm. MMM. I can't say I agree with you either. Then who wants to give up their arm and leg in a week? But still, he's the one who provided U.S. food and shelter. Manager SEO is very useful. So we'll learn as much as we can from him in a week. Since he's already lost an arm, he won't last long anyway. That's why we should have him be the sacrifice again. So, now that I've become debilitated, he wants to chop off one of my limbs every week to give to the fox. That's not exactly pleasing, definitely not. With the violence I've learned from being beaten up for 50 years, I can easily kill a modern-day man like John Manhwa with one arm. Should I kill him? No. The fear surely must have just paralyzed our minds. If I act too cruel right now, it'll cause issues with my relationship with Director Kim. Hey, John Manhwa. Shut the fuck up if you don't want your ankles to break again. Yeah, they're good people. It's just a confusing situation for everyone. The next day. Unlike the fox who ate my arm, the two-headed snake only requested a small amount of blood. It's the same snake that sucked out Chief Fo's blood who'd lost his limbs in the last life. If it's just a small amount. Chief Fo put his own arm forward this time. You bleg. Disgusting. This is the worst human blood I've ever had. It's the blood of a 21st century worker, drenched in nicotine and cholesterol. No wonder it'd taste gross. John Manhwa, come with me to pick some herbs. What? Did you just call me by my full name? Aren't you hungry? I am. I'll tell you about the fruits and edible herbs, so follow me. Really? I plan to give my arm to the fox next week as well. If I die, someone needs to know how to survive in this forest. Ha ha. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks. The fox won't be coming back, and you'll never make use of this knowledge. John Manhwa. How many times do I need to tell you that's the wrong fruit? Concentrate. Sorry. That fruit will get you killed. Understand? Hold on. I need a break. I've been digging nonstop to get these herbs. This is how John Manhwa used to punish me when I first entered the company. We need to finish before dusk, so hurry up. This is ginseng? This thing is massive. This is natural ginseng, right? Well, yeah, something like that. It does resemble ginseng, but to be precise, it's a yellow bamboo root. It might be because the ascension path is so full of energy, but yellow bamboo roots, which are typically as small as a pinky finger, grow to this size here. It won't be of much use to cultivators, but it's an extremely precious medicine for martial artists that's used to increased chi. It should help Director Kim. There's 2 more right there. Ha ha, amazing. Is it okay to dig up this much wild ginseng? Of course. Take your shirt off and place them in your shirt. It's almost time now. Let's head back. Explosion. Qua. Ugh. Af. Huh? What's wrong with you guys? Oh ho, what a surprise. To think we'd find such uncut talent here. Begone, Bucco. They are mine. Who are you people? Why you people are? Only those three have spiritual roots. The rest are just normal mortals. Quad. Section Chief John. Incredible. It's the body of heavenly golden thunder. Move. It's my turn. Ghostly Een transforming immortal root. To think such a thing really existed. Unique holy body. What's going on? Oh ho. To think such a body could exist. I will take you three as disciples of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. All three of you have the talent to change the entire world. How does that sound? I can't breathe. What is this force? I feel like I'd die if I refuse. No. Join the Black Ghost Valley instead. We have every cultivation method. Immortality. The power to overturn the heavens. Fame and wealth. I will ensure you get all of those things within 100 years. What are you saying? The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is the most suited to. Hold on. Could you get us out of this forest? We'll all die here at this rate. Mortals worry too much. How did you get to the ascension path with such a worthless body? Seems like one of them lost an arm to that fox. Seeing the wound, he offered it up himself. You may be a mere mortal, but you've got guts. Thank you. We captured all the beasts and monsters of the ascension path on the way here. It'll be safe here for the next 10 years. Hold on. We don't even know which way to go to leave. Section Chief John. Chief O. Deputy Manager Kong. The same thing happened 50 years ago. No matter how hard we shouted, they ignored us like insects and continued on their way. But at least he healed my arm. Huff, damn it. What do you want us to do? In a forest like this? What are all those lights in the sky? Is there something in that direction? The next day. Cough. Deputy Manager CO, Deputy Manager O's in terrible condition. Is there some kind of herb we could use? We do. Let's wait a little longer. Someone might appear and heal her. Mortals in the ascension path, like ants suffering among the competition between dragons. Who are you? I am the Sea Dragon King. Huiol. A storm rages over the mountains. Yes. The storm suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I came to look for its cause. That lady lying over there must have used the sorcery of the storm. But she's just an ordinary woman without even a trace of cultivation. How could she wield such overwhelming power? And she's not even doing it consciously. How strange. Kim, actually, we're the confused ones. We haven't been here long, yet one after another, powerful people like you appear and take away my companions. So you're saying, among your colleagues, some had extraordinary potential, and then, as if prearranged, powerful cultivators appeared and took them away. And now, here I am, conveniently appearing in front of this woman? Yes. Dear mortal, do you know where we are? This place is called the Path to Ascension, a key gateway that leads to the upper realm. In just a few months, a dimensional rift called the Ascension Gate will open here. It only happens once every 1,000 years. Countless high-level cultivators and spiritual beings will gather here to ascend. So isn't it likely that cultivators like myself would appear near you? I see. But they said they were taking my colleagues to join their sects. If they're ascending to the upper realm, how can my colleagues join them? Mortals may not understand. There's a technique to shrink entire sects and store them in magical items. They're ascending with their sects inside such tools. In fact, I too have packed one of the undersea castles of my sea dragon clan inside this very item. In it, 1,800 sea dragons lie dormant. How peculiar and intriguing. If she were to join the sea dragon clan, she could become extraordinary. W8. I will give her my blood and accept her as my kin. That would be best for all of us. Also, one more piece of advice: don't casually ask high-level cultivators questions. I answered because I'm generous, but most cultivators would have killed you for that. Thinking they've all been kidnapped. What even is this? An avalanche out of nowhere, then immortals and dragons abduct my colleagues, haha. Hey. Director Kim, Manager CO, please. You must not be taken too. If you're gone, I won't survive alone in this forest. Unfortunately, our time is up. Something's coming. Old man, mortals? How did mere mortals enter the path to ascension? Cuckoo, I see. The ascension gate destabilized the space. You must have been caught in a spatial storm. Cuckoo, I really am a genius. Old man, anyway, who just emitted that massive consciousness? For a moment, I thought a sage had descended from the upper realm. Was it that girl? Who are you? Manager CO, Manager Kim is our colleague. Director Kim, Deputy Manager CO. Thank you. I'm okay. Child, let me take you in. You don't have any spiritual root, but I can awaken it with my power. I wonder what would happen if such a strange consciousness evolved into divine consciousness. Manager CO, Director. Deputy Manager. Old man, still clinging to worldly attachments, even after I offered to take you in? Then I shall sever those ties myself. Manager CO, no. Please. Spare them. I'll do anything you ask. Old man, then forget all worldly ties. Understand? Manager CO, I understand. Old man, but if I leave them here, you'll remain attached. So I'll return them to a mortal nation nearby. They'll be randomly scattered through a dimensional rift, not even I know where they'll land. Director Kim, what is this? Manager CO, damn it, I have to grab the herbs. Manager CO, Unhyun, no. Where is this? In my previous life, I didn't fall into a place like this. Bystander, who's that lunatic? thinking so that Immortal was telling the truth. Where we land is random. But this path feels familiar. I see. This is the place I once lived. The capital of Yanghua, Seokyung City. I can't keep up with what's going on anymore. Manager Seo, I feel the same way. It would be nice if this was all just a dream. Phew, it's just the two of us left behind. Well, I guess I should be relieved that we weren't taken by those monsters. I don't know about that either. I may have regressed, but in my past life, I was nothing but a powerless herb gatherer. Anyway, we can't stay in this alleyway forever. Why don't we get out of here? All right. What are they saying? It sounds like Chinese. Why are the people whispering while looking at us? They're saying that the clothes we're wearing look funny. Huh? Don't worry, Director. I know a bit of Chinese. His back is, that's great. I lied. The language they're speaking is not Chinese. Other than the fact that they use the same characters, it sounds completely different. In my past life, I had to endure the mockery of beggars for 2 months just to learn the basics of the language. But now there's no need for that. Then shall we get some new clothes? Huh? How? I feel like they wouldn't accept our money. Goodness! You're letting us buy such precious herbs? Those yellow bamboo roots are at least 800 years old. Of course. This should be worth about 15 silver ingots. 15. I've never had that much money in my past life. Ahem. Then hurry. Right away. What? This is the house we're gonna live in? Yes. From today onward, I'll teach you the language of this place. Ha ha. Thanks, Manager Seo. I made it seem like there's no problem. But after bribing some guys for identity plaques and buying the land and house, we only have 1 silver ingot left now. I guess it's because we're in the capital, but everything is so expensive here. Hey, since we're in a whole new place now, why don't I just call you by name? Okay, that's fine, Director. Thanks, Seo Eun-yun. The reason I was able to get all this money was because I sold those herbs. We won't have a source of income if we run out of herbs. So we need to figure out a way to bring money in. I wonder how. How about we use the silver we'll get from selling the rest of this to start a business? With all the money we can get from this, as well as his skill set from having been a director in a mid-sized company, we should be able to make a living. But that's not enough. Since I've regressed, why don't I dream bigger? Director Kim Young-hoon is a martial genius. After reading some third-rate martial arts books sold on the streets, he became a martial master in just a few months. Once he learned the more advanced techniques, he became one of the most powerful martial artists in the Jianghu. But what if he were to learn advanced martial arts from the start? I might be able to shift forward the birth of the greatest swordsman in the Jianghu by at least 30 years. Then I'm going to benefit as much as I can while working for him. Director, this is Murim, a world of martial arts. Who knows when the gangs of the Jianghu might come for us if we set up a business? Shouldn't we at least learn a bit of self-defense? In martial arts? But they don't teach people outside the sects their martial arts. How will we learn? As a well-known Murim novel nerd, I knew he'd be interested. In this city, there are 7 famous sects. Among those, the demon-slaying sect, self-binding temple, suppressing birdhouse, and the 7 mysteries sect are on the orthodox side of the Jianghu. Whereas the Wolf Fawn Gang, the Dark Knight Association, and the Dragon Fighting Stronghold are considered unorthodox. The people call them the 4 Stars and the 3 Demons. The demon-slaying sect mainly learns sword and blade techniques. The self-binding temple is a Buddhist sect. The suppressing birdhouse is like the house sect, they handle intel. The 7 mysteries sect has a very long history, they learn all kinds of martial arts. On the other hand, there isn't much information known about the 3 demons. It is said that they are proficient in stealth techniques and sorcery. They do a lot of illegal things. Which sect do you like the best? The demon-slaying sect, of course. A martial artist should wield a sword, and a man should learn blade techniques. Fitting for the man who was called the best swordsman in my past life. But how do you know all this? Haha, I was eavesdropping on some martial artists talking earlier. 3 months later. Stop. What brings you here? He's my older brother. They look like they have a decent amount of money. I'm sorry, but learning martial arts at his age will be difficult. Haha. Won't you at least let us talk to someone of a higher status? Even just simple self-defense would do. So you want to learn martial arts for self-defense? Yes. The best one there is, please. I suppose you could join as an external disciple. However, we don't give special treatment to those who join with donations. In addition, we'll only accept one of you. All that money was worth 1 yellow bamboo root, and that's all they're willing to do for us? Are you ripping us so? I thank you. My brother will be the one learning. Ahem. Then come outside later to where all the external disciples are gathered. Yunhian, what's the use if only I will learn martial arts? Main character, thinking I would have chosen a different group had I known they'd be so expensive. Don't sweat it. It's not like I've ever been good at sports anyways. I'll just set up a business with the remaining money and support you. Just focus on learning martial arts. Well, I'll try my best, but I'm old. I don't know if I'll be able to really do much. Believe in yourself. I'm sure you can do it. Thanks. 7 months later, at the competition held within the sect. What? What kind of? Elder, some outsider from nowhere defeated all my beloved disciples? The demon-slaying sect was in an uproar. To master a martial art means to grasp its true essence and harmonize with it. Even a third-rate warrior, once they understand a martial art's meaning, can rise to second-rate by integrating that insight into their own. But to advance further, one must gain more than double the previous understanding. And devote equally more time and effort. You damned outsider. Yet, sometimes people with extraordinary talents seem to laugh at such barriers. Surpassing countless stages at once. The demon-slaying sect is filled with such gifted martial artists. The great sect of Seokyung City. However, an outsider has appeared to challenge the direct disciples of this great sect. The direct disciples of the great sect. Within just 7 months, Director Kim became a first-rate warrior, mastering the demon-slaying sect's ultimate technique, the absolute dragon saber. To reach first-rate in just half a year. That level is normally attainable only through the combined wisdom of many great martial artists. And yet, he's an outsider learning within our sect. To others, it must seem as though our traditions have bowed before a single man. Capture him, now. Because an outsider gained the skills worthy of a sect elder within 7 months. The sect was thrown into chaos. In this absurd situation, Director Kim was confined to his quarters, suspected of being a spy for another sect. But for some reason, I was also accused, even though I know no martial arts. I was arrested while shopping at the market. Aren't you worried, Director, that they suspect you as a spy? Haha, about what? Or even sever your chief flow? That's true. But for some reason, I feel I'm nearing another wall. And if he surpasses it, he can advance to the next stage. What a monster. It hasn't even been long since he became first-rate. And already he's nearing the next stage? Beyond first-rate lies martial peak. That level is where sect leaders and great elders reside. In Yinghua, they're called absolute masters. And only about 1,000 exist across the entire nation. The martial world never speaks of the realm beyond. So martial peak is regarded as the final stage attainable through martial arts. I was wrong. At this rate, the birth of the world's greatest swordsman will come not in 30 years, but in just 40. 7 days later. That's the flower of chi that only appears to peak martial artists. 3 flowers gather at the summit. I've crossed the barrier. I'm not so scared of the demon-slaying sect leader anymore. Wow. Your talent far exceeds my imagination. I'm also impressed by myself. I never knew I'd have such talent. Maybe this was why I always loved martial arts novels as a kid. Hear ye, Young-hoon and his comrade. We have orders from the sect leader to destroy the chi core of the spy who dared to steal the demon-slaying sect's martial arts. We were just. I said I wasn't a spy. Silence. We even heard the two of you speaking in code. Restrain them. Phew. This was my first sect. How dare you? Shit. It's a peak-level martial artist. Run. Inform the sect leader. Yun, I intend to visit other sects and train. I will accompany you. What will you do? How about we go to the famed unorthodox sect? The dragon-fighting stronghold? Ha ha ha, all right. Go ahead. Let's meet there. I will end the pursuit of the demon-slaying sect's elders and leader. Ho ho. Young-hoon, what took you so long? You're just too fast, Director. He used to call out my violence until recently. Even if it was to survive, this world changes us into something else. It'd be great if we could return. Not to this martial arts world, but to everyday life on Earth. If I were to regress, I wish I could just return to Earth. It can't be helped. Now that we're here, we need to do what we can. After being betrayed by the demon-slaying sect, Director Kim took over the dragon-fighting stronghold. 2 years later, he toured each region of Yinghua, defeating various sects. And in the 3rd year, he finally destroyed the emblems of every sect. He was known as the greatest martial artist under the heavens. With that fame, he united the sects, forming the Martial Alliance. 7 years later, Director Kim and I were as close as brothers, ignoring the gap in our ages. He created a martial art specifically suited for me. This is the Severing Mountain Sword. I named it that, hoping you'd inherit its will. A sword that could even cut down mountains. If you master the Severing Mountain Sword, I know you'll reach martial peak. Not only that, he created the Dragon Vein Chi method alongside it. This was true first-rate martial arts, far beyond second- or third-rate skills. If there was a problem. But Eun-hyun, you really had no talent. My skill was absolutely terrible. Even though the greatest martial artist under the heavens crafted a martial art for me and taught me one-on-one. I barely reached third-rate after an entire year. I guess it can't be helped. At least, I do have some talent in medicine. People are talented in different ways. One day, after a decade had passed, I witnessed it. The level I had only heard of in legends. 5 energies converge to the origin. Young Hoon. That's. Ha ha ha, Eun-hyun. What has you so surprised? Skeletal restructuring. Brother, you look younger than I do. Ha ha ha. Is that so? I feel so full of life, I could do anything. The world would be shocked at your skeletal restructuring. Indeed. Anyways, I need to hand the Martial Alliance over to a successor soon. Does nobody fit the bill? The Martial Alliance leader must have at least some skill in martial arts, but not a single one understands martial arts properly. Hey, you're the extraordinary one here. There's no genius in the world like you. HM. Is that what it is? Even so. 15 years later. It's been 35 years since I started my life on the ascension path. I'm already in my mid-60s. What is Young Eun-hyun doing? After a single year since his skeletal restructuring, he passed the position of alliance leader to his successor and left. I wished to retire with him. But to manage order within the alliance, I had no choice but to stay as the strategist of the alliance until now. He said he wished to travel around Yanghwa more. Maybe it's because of that, but he didn't come to my retirement ceremony. It's a little too quiet. I bought this manor with my retirement funds. But it's too big to live in alone. Who's there? WH. What has happened to you? Where have you been instead of coming to my retirement ceremony? Just what happened? I truly believe. I was blessed with a gift in martial arts. That's correct. If you aren't a genius, who would be? You're right. I'm a genius in martial arts. Among those in Yanghwa. No, among any ordinary mortal, nobody is capable of matching my martial talent. Ordinary mortal? As if you yourself are ordinary? Everyone knows you are the strongest man underneath the heavens. I fought a cultivator. You remember them, don't you? From 35 years ago. Those flying monsters. Who kidnapped our co-workers? There were cultivators. They don't reveal themselves easily, but they lurk within the shadows of Yanghwa's royal palace, manipulating the entire country. Ever since the alliance was formed, as our influence in Yanghwa grew, they began to direct their influence onto U.S. Young Eun-hyun had problems with that. But as going against their word would mean opposing the nation itself, he had no choice but to follow orders for the sake of protecting the martial alliance. Because of that, Young Eun-hyun gave up the position of alliance leader. He wanted to duel them as an individual. by scouring Yingwa alone. Those cultivators were truly difficult to find. Even when I did locate one, they'd ignore me, saying that mortals weren't worth fighting, and used illusions or simply flew to leave, making it difficult to even fight them. But 5 years ago, I was finally able to duel a cultivator. Did you win? I did. If you had done that while you were the alliance leader, you would have caused me a lot of trouble. I put my life on the line to fight the cultivator who reached the chi building stage, and I barely managed to make a small cut on his fingertip. That cultivator said that even a single scratch would count as his loss, so I technically did win. So is that cultivator of the chi building stage like one of the 10 strongest cultivators, or? No. He told me chi building was the second to lowest stage in the world of cultivation. Using the standard of a martial artist, it's akin to being a second rate. What nonsense are you talking about? In my previous life and this one, I knew cultivators were ridiculous beings. But Young-Hoon Hyung's martial arts undoubtedly reached the sky. He can truly walk atop nothing and utilize martial arts while suspended in air. And he's capable of cutting through entire buildings or steel as if they were tofu. But such a genius barely nipped the finger of a bottom-rate cultivator? I was a frog in the well. We cannot face the cultivators. They are living natural disasters. Even so, today, I managed to cut off his hand. So your martial arts managed to Serpa? No. He placed some paper talisman on himself, and his hand grew back. I think this is the limit to my martial arts. What do you mean? I'm here to say goodbye to you today. He said he held my willpower in high regard, and that he was willing to accept me into his cultivation sect. I'll probably start from the bottom up there. But to become a cultivator means to surpass mortals. Isn't it impossible without a spiritual root? For a regular mortal, the stage of 5 energies converging to the origin is equivalent to the 5-element spiritual root the cultivators are naturally born with. In order to gain the trait that cultivators are born with, mortals like us must use our entire lives to even manifest that basic quality. I'll be leaving now to pursue a higher realm. This book is my last gift to you. Take care. Brother? Wulsu Palace Martial Art Record. A record of martial arts steady to surpass cultivators. Brother, where are you going, leaving this younger brother behind? And so, time passed. How ironic. 50 years since I came to this world, and I'm about to die from a cold, just like in my past life. Fate. Humans cannot escape it, no matter how much they try to resist. Only the type of house has changed, but in the end, I die on the same day. Not wanting to feel the regrets of my past life, I lived fiercely, so much that marriage was unimaginable. Thanks to that, I unified the Yan Kingdom's martial arts sects and gained enough wealth and honor for one to enjoy in the human world. But, what is this regret? If I had struggled more, would Young-Hoon and I have been able to reach heaven? My teeth chatter from a strange sense of powerlessness. It's too regrettable. That was my second regression. This is the same forest. The ascension path. My body is brimming with energy. So regression isn't just a one-time thing. Hey, Deputy Manager CO. You bastard. You dodged it? Why did I regress? A new body full of energy and a new opportunity is undoubtedly a good thing, but what about everything I built up for the past 50 years? Hey! You almost got us killed, and now you dodge. Regression, is this really a good thing? No. It's a curse. A curse that denies me the meaning of life. A couple regressions might be a blessing. But if this goes on forever, I'll be trapped in fate's wheel, forced to suffer endlessly until the end of time. Moreover, I can't meet the people I knew in my past lives again. The people in front of me are simply those who look like them. The young Hoon I once considered my brother no longer exists in this world. Section Chief John, that's enough. Calm down. What would anger help here? You shameless bastard. You were supposed to be driving today. I warned you last night I couldn't sleep because of the work you offloaded on me. How could I dodge an avalanche on a narrow road? Stop pointing fingers. Let's focus on what we need to do. Director Kim. I'll search for a place to stay before sunset. Everyone else, look for the car or a way out of the forest. I'll light a fire when it gets dark. Is there even a point in forming bonds with these people? In the end, I'll always be alone. Infinite regression. This ability must be removed. Would it disappear if I return to Earth somehow? Seeing how I always regress back to this moment on the ascension path, maybe the ascension gate is the key. When it opens, nearby spaces destabilize, ordinary humans could get caught in spatial storms. That must be how we ended up here. Maybe we can return using it. First, I must grow stronger. As an ordinary mortal, I can't accomplish anything. I need to become a cultivator, like Young Hoon. Once I gain a longer lifespan, I'll have time to research the Ascension Gate. Yes. I will become a cultivator and reach the Ascension Gate. Strong chi quakes within my core. In my past life, I didn't know heart methods, so eating yellow bamboo roots wouldn't have done anything. But if I used the dragon vein chi method that Young Hoon created for me, I can break through my blocked meridians. It's not easy to heal a body ruined by preservatives and stress, but that should do it. In my past life, I was just a second-rate martial artist. Since I'd stopped practicing near the end, my skills dulled. But the techniques remain in my head, so regaining them is only a matter of time. Deputy Manager CO. What was that just now? You cut down a tree with a wooden stick. What strength is that? Oh, this? Now, this is the man who will teach me to become a cultivator. Want to learn this technique, Director Kim? See, can I really? Filthy humans, you dare to play around in front of the master of this forest? Ah, I forgot about him. I am weak. In my first life, and my second, and now my third regression as well. In my previous life, I vowed to reach 5 energies converge to the origin and become a cultivator. But even after 100 years under the best master, I barely reached first-rate martial artist. My talent is worthless compared to those here. Still, regardless of whether it takes 1,000 years or 10,000, I won't give up. Kuhuhu, a human who knows his manners. Offering himself as a sacrifice. I'll give you my arm any time, until the day I surpass your strength. After eating my arm, the fox left, and we were allowed to stay. Without regard for my coworkers, I swung my sword alone in the forest. I didn't stop for food or rest, only on the fourth day did I pause. Later, I questioned the Sea Dragon King himself. Great cultivator, why would you take Deputy Manager Ohaisio? She is a mortal without a spiritual root. Ordinary mortals can only live up to 100 years at most. What use do you have for her? Once she accepts my blood, she will awaken a spiritual root befitting her talents. If so, could you grant us the same chance? She and I are from the same lands. Perhaps we too have hidden potential. Listen, mortal. Avoid making demands to high cultivators like me. We've lived through countless millennia. I am kind enough to forgive you, but others would crush you like an insect for merely making eye contact. So, just what is going on? Great cultivator. Our co-worker, Manager Kim, is a mortal without a spiritual root. How is she able to become your disciple? Well, there are ways for mortals to awaken. A pill that opens spiritual senses, or martial training to gain a spiritual root, though that path is long and mediocre. Now, I have no business with you too. Begone. W8. Union. No. HM. This is the southwest of Yinghua. My previous life was just spent like my second one, where Young-hoon and I traveled throughout Yinghua. After spending almost 100 years traveling Yinghua, I know every place by the back of my hand. Director, wake up. I woke up Director Kim and brought him to the nearest city, and then I explained the situation to him. He seemed quite confused, but he soon appeared to accept this new reality. We soon arrived in Hobiak City and sold the herbs of the ascension path to buy a small house. I taught him the language as well as the severing mountain blade, which he had created himself in my second regression by modifying the severing mountain sword in order to make it better suit the weapon he used. How unmotivating. He reached the level of 3 flowers within 3 months of learning martial arts, while someone like me can spend 2 whole lifetimes just training and barely reach first rate. I think I could beat you now, Manager SEO. This man is not the same Young-hoon that I considered to be my own brother in my previous life. He is mentally several times younger than me. I feel full of strength. In terms of mental age, I'd be as old as Director Kim's grandfather. I shouldn't accompany him in this life. Director, from now on, we should begin to live separately. What? What do you mean, Deputy? Manager SEO. SEO Union. Did I do something wrong? What is the reason for this? The reason. In my first regression, Young-hoon became the Martial Alliance leader but despaired after losing to the cultivators. The second regression wasn't much different. He created the record of gazing cultivation and exceeding martial arts by improving upon the record of transcending cultivation and the exhausting martial arts and fought cultivators, but he was unable to surpass stronger cultivators and gave up, leaving the path of martial arts and disappearing to become a cultivator. The same thing will happen in this life. And I no longer wish to witness Young-hoon's face filled with despair. I want to tour the lands and improve my own skills. But how will I live on my own without you? Your martial arts skills should be more than enough to go off of. I've taught you how to communicate, write, and fight. You're a martial artist at the martial peak level, so you no longer need to worry. But this means I must part with someone who shares my homeland once again. Hey, if so, let's promise to meet on this day in this very house. Every 2 years. HM. After convincing director Kim, I left the house. What brings you to the Hall of 8 Respects? I've come to request a duel. Ahahaha. One cannot simply barge into the Hall of 8 Respects and dash. I'll grow stronger. Do I still seem like a nobody? I'll do whatever it takes. Come on in. The sect leader is waiting for you. Oh ho, I was wondering who our guest might be when I heard a first-rate martial artist was here, but to think it would be such a young lad. I, SEO, Yunhian, greet the Hall of 8 Respect sect leader. Ho ho, your cheese undoubtedly formidable. As does yours, sect leader. Please bestow upon this inexperienced fellow some of your teachings. Then I shall make the first move. He deflected the sect leader's nunchuck. With his sword? PR/N, the original Korean took the word NUNCHUCKS and put the word 9 in it. Seeing your reaction time. You've reached the level of becoming one with the sword. You're at the late stage of first rate. You have also completely merged your martial arts with your weapon as well. I've learned much from that single move. You really are a genius. A genius. That's hardly a compliment to me. I know it may seem impressive that I've reached a level of prowess that would take others decades to reach in my late 20s. Thank you for praising my yet sufficient skills. But I am just one of many talentless fools commonly found in the world. The sky never gave me such talent. But despite my lack of talent, I was able to develop a level of martial prowess equivalent to those of geniuses. Regression is an opportunity for me. I decided to act as a genius for now. I will use sword energy from here on out. Go ahead. I, too, will take things seriously. Mountain severing sword first form. Transcending peaks. Second form entering mountain. Third form ascending vein. What is this monstrous sword art? I can't get through it at all. Severing mountain sword 7th form. Deep mountain. I am possible. The sect leader is. His sword is becoming faster as he goes through the arts forms. 11th form cliff edge. It's not just speed. His sword is gaining ridiculous amounts of force. I'll end things now. 12th form 7 lights emerging peak. I have lost. Thank you for the opportunity. There's no backlash. The Hall of 8 Respects is an orthodox sect well known for following a strict moral code. I should visit the unorthodox sects next time. With this tour of travels, I will reach the martial peak in this life. I toured 4 more medium-sized sects in Sukyung City. Among them, I lost to the Yunryu sect and the Huayang sect, but was victorious at the Geiju sect and the Yebwol sect now. The Hojing sect. So you are the young first-rate martial artist who was recently challenging duels around Sukyung City. I've seen your skills well, ho-ho. I was able to learn much as well. Now, it's time to face off against 10 of our elders. Are you ready? Huh? Is this how unorthodox sects exact revenge? I thought the duel ended with my victory. I've never even heard of a consecutive duels, especially not one where the challenger would fight 10 on 1. Really? You heard of it now, haven't you? This old geezer. If I let your devious ways be known to other sects, the Hojing sect's name will fall to the ground. Ha! There's no problem. You will receive a simple scratch while dueling at our sect. Said scratch shall become infected, and you will fall to illness. Our sect will have taken great care for you, and the people will believe that despite our best efforts, you unfortunately passed away. A dead man can't possibly refute our words, can he? They're even more crazy than I thought they'd be. If we kill you here, our reputation will remain intact. Yeah, this is the reason why I came here anyways. Then attack. I accept this ridiculous duel. Now then, let's get some real fighting experience. That young martial artist. I heard you went to challenge the Hojing sect. TSK, what an unfortunate end for such a talented fellow. Indeed. To think he'd challenge an unorthodox sect to a duel. That's just how it is. When you're young, you have this naivete that makes you think the world will go as I will it. He hastened his death with his own arrogance. The Hojing sect is really only a sect in name. They're practically a group of bandits. He's probably already been buried by now. One bowl of noodles, please. And certainly. DDO, come in. Those crazy fuckers. I almost died. Not only was it 10 against 1, but they even poisoned their weapons. Thank God I learned medicine of the highest level during my time as the Alliance's strategist. If I hadn't eaten the curing pill and stimulant I made beforehand, I would have died. Also, went every single lackey of the sect. Kill him. Whatever it takes. Raised their spears and bows and charged in formation. As that geezer's last resort, I fought like an animal. In order to survive. Even so, I survived. I cut the survivors' tendons to cripple them for life. So they won't be able to come after me for revenge. Anyways, overdosing on stimulants is making it impossible for me to relax right now. I won't be able to sleep for the next few days. I'll challenge an orthodox sect to a duel. Immediately after the fight against the Hojing sect, the young martial master ate a single bowl of noodles and proceeded on his journey. That ridiculous feat caused his name to be spread among the masses, as gossip roamed all throughout Sukyung City. Soon, people gave said crazy martial artist a befitting title. Infinite Fighting Spirit, SEO Yunhian. I lack talent. My goal, the martial peak, is as far as ever. That is why I must continue to fight. And weave through life and death to inch ever closer. For a talentless man to break the wall, he must go mad. If one lacks talent, they must embrace insanity. That is the only way a talentless man can catch up to a genius. And so I went through various places within Yinghua and fought several duels a day, whether they were orthodox or unorthodox sects. 5 years later, Severing Mountain Sword Fourteenth form. Chi Mountain, Flowing Heart. Its chi was like that of a mountain, and its heart was like that of the heavens. Sword chi in the form of silk, something that can only be used by those who have reached the peak. Even attempting to form it for a moment places a ridiculous burden on my head. But if I don't do this, I can't possibly dream of catching up. Catching up to all of my sword chi was destroyed in a single strike. Ho ho. I had high hopes from hearing about you. But you still have a long way to go, Infinite Fighting Spirit SEO. The strongest man under the heavens, Kim Young-hoon. He truly has incredible talent. Indeed. Congratulations. You've grown even stronger than last year. Skeletal restructuring in 5 years. What have I been doing in that time? I'm still a first-rate martial artist talent. Truly brings people to their lowest. What brought you here? Didn't we agree on meeting once every 2 years? After attaining the 5 energies converging to the origin and visiting great sects of Yinghua, I've realized one thing. What is it? I am the strongest man in all of Yinghua. No one can withstand more than a single strike of mine. So I was thinking, as the strongest man under the heavens, I was planning on creating a sect or organization of some kind. I wanted to offer you a seat. I'm all right. I prefer how I am now. There he goes with his obsession over becoming the alliance leader. If I accept his offer, I'll end up working myself to the bone as the vice leader or strategist in this life as well. In order to reach the martial peak, every second is precious to me. After saying that it'd be hard for him to meet after he starts his organization, he began trying to convince me by saying he could help with my training through one-on-one lessons. No matter what offer you make, I'm not taking it. I've gotten plenty of his teachings from my past life. What I need now is real-life experience. In my past life, Young told me that once I enter the late stages of first rate, I should endeavor to experience as much real combat as possible. So this life, I decided to merely watch his saga from afar, and continued on my own endless journey for battle. And so another 20 years passed. You seem quite pale, I finally realized. SEO Union. My talent is truly one forsaken by the heavens. Despite training endlessly, you still haven't been able to raise your prowess? My understanding of sword energy now far exceeds that of other first-rate martial artists. Yet I'm still unable to last more than 3 exchanges against a peak-level martial artist. How strange. You've nearly become one with the sword, but you still haven't reached the martial peak? Someone with as much fighting experience as you should easily be able to. Yeah, this is the extent of my talent. Talent forsaken by the heavens. I can only maintain it for half a day as of now. Maybe if I become able to maintain sword energy for an entire day, I'll be able to find a path. I wish you the best. And here. This is the insight I gained from fighting a core formation stage cultivator. I tried to buy as much time for myself by withstanding his moves, and I managed to escape successfully. It's as thick as the entirety of Record of Gazing Cultivation and Exceeding Martial Arts, the advanced version of Record of Transcending Cultivation and Exhausting Martial Arts. The insight needed to merely escape from a core formation stage cultivator was this greed. Cultivators, they are living natural disasters. Obviously, you need a deep understanding in order to escape from the wrath of nature. I see. I will preserve it and pass it down to the next generation. Thank you, Yunhian. Now, I'll seek to find a core formation stage cultivator again. I pray that we meet each other again alive. Oh, and here's a hint to reaching the Marshall Peak. Try to take in every single piece of spatial information in your mind at all times. Every piece of spatial information? Yep. You know how you stay aware of your surroundings in order to utilize them during duels or real combat, right? Try to make that, something you typically only utilize in combat, stay active at all times. How would I even? Just maintaining sword energy all day already makes me feel like my head will split open, but now I need to simulate my surroundings at all times. Is he sure my head won't explode? No. There must be a reason the strongest martial artist under the heavens would assign me such a task. From that day forth, I began to keep aware of every single piece of information my eyes would give me. Remember the spatial position of every object. It's been 5 years since I began to maintain sword energy and spatial tracking. I feel dizzy. Being aware of everything that enters my sight is a dizzy feat. And it's not just that. I've started surpassing just visual information and tracking audible information as well. Can I even fight in this state? There aren't even any more sects to fight. In the past 30 years, I've traveled through all of Manhwa, visiting various medium to large sects. Now, there isn't a single sect left in Manhwa for me to visit. I currently have resorted to capturing bandits and living off of their bounties. I have to fight against enemies that would use any dirty method while I'm in such a lightheaded state. Will I be able to survive? Big boss, that's the guy. I chose this path. I've finally found you, you bastard. You're dead. Even if I die, I must continue to walk this path. 15 years later. So you survived. Once again, yes. It's been 45 years since I regressed. I have now reached a stage where I am proficient at processing and remembering not only with sight and hearing, but also taste, touch, and smell at an advanced level. But that was all. I still haven't been able to become a peak-level martial artist. I seem to have a name among cultivators now. They've put a bounty on me. 2 core formation stage cultivators had set a trap to ambush me. I barely escaped. But I managed to make a single scratch on one of their cheeks. I see you've gained great insight again this time. It's nothing like that. It's impossible to defeat a core formation stage cultivator. If I can't escape, I'll end up as a corpse in no time. I've been having some thoughts recently. These 5 energies converging to the origin may be the limit that a martial artist can aim for. I suspect that the author of Record of Gazing Cultivation and Exceeding Martial Arts ended up arriving at a similar conclusion as me. That no matter how hard you train your martial arts, you can never defeat a cultivator. I see my own self in Kim Young-un. While he undoubtedly has talent that was gifted to him by the heavens themselves, I have talent forsaken by the heavens themselves. But why do I relate to his situation right now so much? When the two of us are polar opposites when it comes to talent? I'm pretty stumped as to why I'm unable to reach the next level. Old man asterisk, despite successfully emulating sword energy and having the vision of a peak-level martial artist, you're still unable to become one. I have no clue what might be the case. Would you like me to give you feedback through a duel? We haven't done so in quite some time. I'd like that. Shit. Just what is the problem? I don't understand. You should have become a peak-level martial artist ages ago. Huh? What does that even mean? Old man asterisk, how strange. Just why is this happening? Maybe what you lack is a catalyst. Yeah, like a strong sense of drive or emotion. An event that might get you to exceed the limits of your concentration and surpass your talent. What the hell do you mean by that? I've done nothing but wield the sword for over 50 years. For my entire life. How much more desperate do you think I can get? I've struggled my entire life, desperately trying to escape being a first-rate martial artist. What do you mean, I lack desperation? I've activated all the chi flows in my body. Hell, I even hold my sword as I sleep and keep my sword energy active. I've reached the point where I'm even processing and memorizing every bit of information I experience in my dreams. So why? Why? WHYYY? Why won't you show me the next stage, heavens? WHYYY? I know how it looks for a 70-year-old man to curse the heavens for his fate, even though I've only pursued the sword for my entire life. I don't have a single clue as to what the next stage is like. I created a martial art during our duel that should fill in your weak points. I know this is no proper reassurance for your needs, but I hope learning it will help you calm yourself. Mountain Lord Martial Arts. And transcending peak steps? Once again, you've disappeared just like that. 5 years later. It's been 50 years since my regression. I no longer have a lot of days left to live. Young-hoon, have you passed away already? I guess this is our fate. My talent ends here. And your talent ends there. No matter how hard we mortals struggle, we can't escape the fate the skies have set for us. What the hell are you talking about? Ugh. What? Shit. What the hell have you been up to? You're in a grave state. Let me get my medical tools from my house. What? Weren't both his arms chopped off? Do you see him, Yunhian? That cultivator's chasing us. This is the price I pay for blowing up the arm of a core formation stage cultivator. Asterisk ha ha ha. Asterisk. I, Kim Young-hoon, have made a core formation stage cultivator take meaningful damage. I have witnessed the stage past the 5 energies converging to the origin. What was thought to be the final stage a martial artist can reach, with my own 2 eyes. Asterisk ha ha ha. Asterisk. Look. I risked my life and burned away my life forces to get to this point. That's enhanced chi? I was able to burst a core formatine cultivator's arm thanks to this. This is the result of my life's work. Watch, Yunhian. Training martial arts. My house. I invested all the money I gathered for 50 years. While living as the infinite fighting spirit into this house. Ooh-ha-ha. Now, look. I have run far and wide to show you this. Because I decided that I would leave my will to you. At the moment, I spaced out and rage filled me, but I calmed myself down and watched his martial arts performance. The place where a 3-story building had been exploded without leaving a trace. It's a good thing we didn't have any servants in the house. Otherwise, hundreds of them would have all died with that one attack. The blade traces I can see and what few remains there are. I see. The ball of enhanced chi just then was a concentration of thousands of blade energies. What unbelievable force! It's stronger than any martial arts he has shown me until now. This is how I was able to burst a core formation cultivator's arm. Before, I had to ambush or assassinate the chi building stage cultivators for a chance, but now I can fight them head on. We're falling. Please, don't forget these techniques. They are my life's realizations. Please, pass on my martial arts to future generations. I heard you, so stop talking. Your life is at stake here. Found you, ultimate martial spirit. That's quite a terrible spot to run to. Hey, civilian. He is a criminal who has committed unspeakable crimes to the cultivators. Leave him here. Are you here to punish him? Are you his acquaintance? TCH. Pointless. Did you not hear about US from the ultimate martial spirit? Haha, well. All right. I'll think of it as entertainment. Run the best you can. That's corpses? Damn it. I'm too old for this. Anyway, ultimate martial spirit? Did the cultivators give you that name? How unique. The ultimate martial spirit and the infinite fighting spirit. 2 spirits being chased by the Jiangshi. How strange is that? Never mind that, you need to stay awake. Please, say something. Damn it. You should be the one running with me on your back. I'm gonna die from suffocation. Why did you have to get your arms cut off? The Jiangshi did not give up and continued to chase me. I bit down hard and kept running. Sound, huff huff, panting. Morning went and night passed by. Damn it. It's so high up. You, a mere civilian, managed to withstand the Jiangshi for 3 days and nights. However, you cannot run anymore. It's also futile to do so. The ultimate martial spirit is already dead. No. I'm a physician, after all. Then why were you running? I am only interested in the ultimate martial spirit. I don't care about you. You could have just abandoned the corpse and run off. You're laughing? The Severing Mountain Sword, the Dragon Vein Chi Method, the Mountain Lord Martial Arts, and the Transcending Peak Steps. I was able to reach this point, despite being void of talent. Thanks to Kim Young-hoon's teachings. He's someone from my hometown, as well as my martial mentor. So, if you want to take my master's head, you'll have to take mine first. TCH. No one knows to fear the cultivators. Is it because you just don't know any better, or do you have no fear because you are so old? All right, I'll show you. That cultivators have the power to show you pain worse than death. He wasn't going after me. I'll make you pay the price of having looked down on a cultivator. You evil bastard. Kill your disciple. How dare you defile a dead man's legacy like this? Thankfully, he isn't able to use martial arts. Here's merely attacking me using the sheer power the cultivator surged into him. But just that sheer force and speed is so great that it's hard for my old body to withstand. Shit. It's already an incredible disgrace to point my sword at Kim Young-hoon, who is already dead. I am sorry. But if there's nothing else I can do, I should end it as soon as I can. The 21st form of the Severing Mountain Sword is called Heavenly Lake. All of the other forms' names are related to some mountain, peak, or valley. Why do you think the 21st form is named after a lake? Since Young created it for me in my past life, perhaps he'd have an answer. Heavenly Lake. It reminds me of the heavenly lake atop Mount Baekdu. Mount Baekdu? Haha, yeah. Maybe this world has a lake similar to Mount Baekdu's, you know? Or maybe the name was also created by people from Korea like US. Maybe so. Heavenly Lake. The lake that reflects the sky itself. The heavenly lake holds the view of the skies within its surface, but its nature remains unchanged. The sky symbolized in the teachings of the Severing Mountain Sword refers to the martial artist I duel with. And the lake, which encompasses the sky's view, refers to my single strike. Heavenly Lake of the Severing Mountain absorbs all the energy flowing in the opponent's veins into my sword energy for a single moment, and ends up launches the enemy away, whilst their energy gets trapped in my sword. It's a move I can use because I'm a first-rate physician and a master of understanding the 8 chi veins. It is a move only I can perform because this martial art was created specifically for me. If Young's corpse remains intact, he may continue to be used as a juncture. That is why I mustn't let a single piece of him remain. I will use the energy churning within my sheath to combine all of the Severing Mountain Sword's forms into a single attack. Severing Mountain Sword first form. Transcending peaks. Second form, entering mountain. Third form, ascending vein. Fourth form, flowing ridge. Fifth form, bouldered cliff. Sixth form, strange stone. I'll cut him up completely, so that the cultivators may not defile his legacy further by controlling his corpse. You insect! Shit, the cultivator has given him even more power and speed. I need to dodge. No. What use is there in dodging? My life will end soon. I'm already as good as dead. I will use this moment to ensure that my master is no longer defiled. Burn it all. I will die. No, but I can't die yet. Just a little more. The area around me, the noises, the smells, the humidity and temperature, the blood that's wrapping around the tip of my tongue. My brain feels like it'll explode. And I'll let it explode. Panel until my brain burns to a crisp. My brain, which felt like it'd explode. Instead of accepting the pressure formed from putting my life on the line, IT surpassed something. What's going on? Have I become delusional? This is. Could this be the vision of a martial artist who has reached the martial peak? Kim Young-hoon is smiling? Talent blessed by the heavens, and talent forsaken by the heavens. We were polar opposites. But the reason we were somehow similar was because we were both ultimately struggling to escape the fate given to us by the heavens. There is no genius or dunce. There are only two men who struggled against their fates their whole lives. One dead and another on death's door. Are you going to stop there? Of course not. Or 15th form. Layered mountain. Yeah. This is the end. Now, even a cultivator won't be able to define his corpse any longer. Please rest in peace, my martial arts master. And so, I finally attained the level of martial arts I had desired for so long, and put an end to this life of continuous struggles. That was my fourth regression. I've regressed again. In my last life, I definitely resisted until the very end. I finally reached IT. Finally, I've reached the pinnacle. Hey, assistant manager SEO. What are you blabbering about? You're crazy bastard, because of you. I can see IT. This guy's dodging. Even with my eyes closed, I can see exactly where John Myung-hoon's next move will be. But that was because I was predicting his movements based on my decades of martial arts training. However, it's different now. This is less of a prediction and more like precognition. This is why a few first-rate masters can't defeat a single master at the pinnacle. When a person can see the direction and trajectory of their opponent's attacks so clearly, how could a first-rate martial artist ever defeat a master at the pinnacle? Then this time, I can tell instinctively, this blue line leads to the opponent's weak point, and it's the optimal path for me to attack. The red line is for reading the opponent's attacks, and the blue line is for making my optimal attack. It seems that because the difference in our power is so great, so many weak points are being revealed. Damn it, IT hurts. It feels like my brain is on fire. Is my brain overloading when I use this site? You son of bastard. You almost got us all killed. What gives you the right to dodge? Manager John. Are you? I've only used the site for a moment, but the pain is unbearable. What could be the problem? After calming down my confused colleagues, I took them into a cave, built a fire, and roasted some berries to feed them before they fell asleep. With this blunt wooden stick that doesn't even contain any internal energy, I cut a leaf in half. The site of the pinnacle seems to be my brain arbitrarily assigning colors, blue and red, to the opponent's fighting path that I'm precognating. When I use this site, all of the opponent's movements are red, and I can aim for their weak points with the optimal path. This is why Kim Young-hoon in my last life called the constant application of the maximization of the five senses an imitation of the pinnacle. By maximizing the five senses, I was forced to calculate the opponent's fighting path. This is incredible. The site of the pinnacle. Now, I am too. And a master at the pinnacle. Still, after finding and eating 8 Huangju ginseng roots and practicing Yangmi Qigong, the duration of my sight has increased to about an hour and a half. Since I've already reached the pinnacle, there's no reason to sell the Huangju ginseng. I can solve financial problems with my own abilities. Then, the remaining Huangju ginseng. The 6-volume book of insights left by Kim Young-hoon in my last life, and the secret verses he left before he died are in my head. If I pass on this knowledge, Kim Young-hoon in this life will surely surpass the Kim Young-hoon of my last life. Then, since I've also reached the pinnacle, the level of teachings I can get from Kim Young-hoon will be incomparably greater than in my last life. I still have no clue how to reach the next level, but unlike the others here, there's only one way for a dull person like me to do it. Training, endless training. Constantly maintaining the sight of the pinnacle until my brain gets used to this sight. The goal for this life is to first overcome the burning pain/feel when I use this sight. And ultimately, reach the 3 flowers gather at the crown. I will reach the state known to be the pinnacle of Marshall Peak. As in my previous life, the fox that claimed to rule this forest came to me. When I extended my arm, offering it to the fox, a sudden curiosity struck me. Would I see the red thread in this fox as well? Red. It's everywhere is red. I can't win. What in the world is this? How could space itself be filled with this crimson light? Several days later when the cultivators returned, I once again could only wear a dumbfounded expression. Is this the difference between cultivators and martial artists? I can't win. There's not a single opening. At this level, even a peak master would struggle to defeat even the lowest of cultivators, Chi Refinement First Star. The day after the cultivators took my co-workers, I asked Seo Huiol, the Sea Dragon King, a question. Dragon King, this unworthy one dares to pose a question. What is IT? After I explained roughly what I had witnessed, I asked him about the crimson domain of cultivators. Cultivators possess what is called consciousness. It is named divine consciousness in some instance. For ordinary mortals, sure remains within the brain. But cultivators extend that consciousness outward, blanketing the space around them. It is the same for a spirit beast, Taoist, such as myself. Does that answer suffice? Thank you. Perhaps because the conversation was another language, Kim Young-hoon did not fully understand. Not long after Seo Huiol disappeared, the hunchbacked freak riding a puppet appeared again, declaring he would take Chief Kim. He shoved Kim Young-hoon and me into a spatial rift. Damn it. Last time it was atop a tree, and now underwater. What a damn joke. Where is this place? It's completely different. Judging by the terrain, this must be the Jiadu Lake of Yun Kingdom. Nearby should be Changho Castle. Then what do we do now? If there were people nearby, we could at least ask where we are. Across the lake, there's a building. You're right. Since I can swim, I'll head there and borrow some clothes and food. Deputy Manager SEO. Damn it, why did I even bother wearing clothes? If my memory is correct, that building. It was surely a bandit hideout. I came here in my past life to annihilate them. The leader was a late-stage first-class master, and the Vede leader was a mid-stage first-class. The rest were nothing much, mostly just second and third rates. But they were numerous. They coated their blades with poison when they fought. What is that in Wather? Ahaha, who is this fool? Do you know where you just swins into? Brat, if you don't want to die, get lost. Why, you little bastard? I told you to get lost. You there. How many people have you killed here? You son of a bastard. Just I only send 50 people to heaven. Mo, it's your turn. Then, from now on, if anyone who has taken a life even once, come at me once. You bastard, come here. Who's that guy on the door? Well, well. This son of a bitch. Grab your weapons. A rat's crawled in. No need to even ask. You all have to dir here. Peak Master, spare me. One question. How long have I been here? About 15 minutes. In my past life, it took me about a full day to annihilate them. That too, only after setting fire to this place and scattering them, cutting them down one by one with a poisoned sword. But this time, in just a single 15 minutes. I wiped them out with nothing but this wooden stick. All right, you can die now. Wait, I'll tell you where I hid the money. I already know where it is. It's not my first time coming here. Thank you, great hero. Thank you for avenging us against these damned bandits. Great hero, might you tell us your name? If you do, I swear I will repay the favor. My name. Please do tell me. Infinite Battle Demon. That is my name. I went with Kim Young-hoon to Changho Castle. We forged household passes and purchased a manor, with the money taken from the bandits. After that, just like in my previous life, I taught him both literacy and martial arts. About 2 months later. He's growing faster. It's almost disheartening. Some people spend their entire lives reaching the peak realm, while others, thanks only to the guidance of a peak master and first-class martial arts, skip over the peak realm entirely and step directly into the Three Blossoms Crown Peak. Congratulations! Before you've even fully mastered reading and writing, you've broken through into the Three Blossoms Crown Peak. Even I find myself amazed that I would have such martial talent. Now that I think of it, after Kim Young-hoon reached the Three Blossoms Crown Peak, I never once had a proper duel with him. But what about now? Me, who has reached the peak realm, and Kim Young-hoon, who has just entered the Three Blossoms Crown Peak. Then, shall we have a duel? Ha, a duel sounds fine. This time, I even feel like you might win. Damn it, my blue line is being pushed back. I need to evade. No, if I evade, I'll keep getting driven backward. Somehow, a competitive will not to lose burned inside me. Right, in this life, my chance to beat him is right now. This is probably my last chance. Kim Young-hoon will continue to grow at a terrifying speed. Next time we fight, he'll already be so far above me that I won't even be able to look him in the eye. This anomaly, standing just on the edge of the Three Blossoms Crown Peak, is my last chance to defeat him in this life. Yes, I'll win this. Even if I have to put everything on the line. Yes. I've broken the rhythm of his stance. In terms of actual combat experience, I'm ahead. I'll show you the realm of the Three Blossoms Crown Peak. What is this? Every sense of mine is screaming danger. Something big is coming. If I take that head on, I'll be cut apart. It's a peerless martial art created by the prodigy Kim Young-hoon, who once reached the five-path core. That was impressive. He withstood my counterattack. Normally, your blade should have shattered and you'd be sent flying back. It seems this is my defeat. Since my weapon is broken, that's a disgrace for any martial man. Still, you're quite skilled and seasoned, aren't you? Don't worry. From now on, I'll never be able to win against you anyway. With today's duel as the last, I won't be able to surpass Kim Young-hoon until my next life. Now that you've reached the Three Blossoms Crown Peak, I've prepared a gift. Wasn't the duel just now my gift? There's something more. Yes, here it. It's a martial arts manual called Record of the Martial Arts Surpassing Through Cultivation and Leaps. I tried reading it, but couldn't make sense of it, so I'll give it to you. This is truly a fated encounter. I'll gratefully study it. After finishing his literacy lessons, Kim Young-hoon devoured all 6 volumes of the Record of the Martial Arts Surpassing Through Cultivation and Leaps. 4 months later. Brother Young-hoon, I've brought back money. I caught a big target this time, so the bounty was hefty. What? He's gone. There's no sign of his presence. He must have left the house entirely. Ha ha ha, I tried one of the techniques written in the Record of the Martial Arts Surpassing Through Cultivation and Leaps. You really couldn't detect me at all. This book is truly a supreme martial manual. This strange technique. In my past life, Kim Young-hoon only used it after reaching the five-path core. But now, in this life, not even a year after regression, he's already able to use it. It's just one of the techniques recorded in the book. For even someone at the peak realm like you not to sense it, with intent, I could assassinate anyone. As expected, the talent is. Anyway, I plan to roam the martial world to gain real combat experience. Will you come along, Brother SEO? The martial world? No, I'll pass, Brother Kim. I think I need to stabilize my realm in the peak a little longer. True. You're still at the early peak realm, you're not yet able to use sword threads. Yes, that too, but I've also taken an interest in the Imperial Court. The Imperial Court. If I serve in the government office, then one day it might help you, Brother Kim, who's active in the martial world. Brother SEO. I'm truly grateful. Then, we decided to part for a while. Of course, my reason for entering the Imperial Court also had some ulterior motives. During my time as a strategist of the Muram Alliance, I learned that the royal family of the Young Kingdom was more deeply entangled with cultivators than any other group. Rumors had it that the Young Imperial family was even a cadet branch of the Cultivation Path clan. So, I first applied to join the Young Kingdom's military. Because I had become well known in the martial world as a bounty hunter, the military welcomed me eagerly. Once inside the army, I quickly earned recognition and rose to the rank of general. Then, I applied for the Imperial Guard and passed without issue. All this was achieved within 5 years since my regression. Your mission is to guard His Majesty the Emperor with your life. As someone at the peak realm, you should be more than capable. Yes, I shall keep that in mind. I was then placed into the Imperial Shadow Guard and trained for 4 months in Salali Ilknagals and the art of concealing presence before being deployed to the Emperor's protection. At last, the day came when I was to stand before the Emperor. On that day, I made a shocking discovery. The Emperor was a cultivator. That's a cultivator's consciousness. The Emperor was born with a spiritual root. This became even more obvious after meeting the crown princes and princesses. Almost all of the imperial family were cultivators with Shik. None of them seem very advanced, though. They're all far weaker than even that fox. Still, they're chi refining stage cultivators. I don't get why someone like me, just a peak master, has to guard them. Besides, the Emperor's aura isn't that of a mere first-level chi-refining cultivator. With that kind of power, he's stronger than the entire Shadow Guard put together. Does he keep us around? Just because he can't be bothered to deal with assassins himself. The Emperor is the one most targeted for assassination in the palace. Assassins came almost every night. And every night, I fought and defeated them. Should I be glad I'm at least getting plenty of real combat practice? 5 years passed like that, serving in the Imperial Shadow Guard. During that time, Kim Young-hoon became the Martial Alliance leader. As the Emperor's guard, I was forbidden from meeting the Alliance leader. But I met him secretly, to drink and catch up. And then, that red line. It's the best possible attack path he could take against me. If I step into that, I'll be cut down instantly by Kim Young-hoon's strike. No. This sight feels exactly like a cultivator's consciousness. If I'd reached the realm of 3 flowers gathering at the crown, I'd be able to see so much more. For now, I'll just study this state closely. I can't fully grasp it yet, but this has to be a clue toward mastering sword threads. My body's changed. Congratulations, you've regained your youth. Yes, I've safely reached OGI Jowan. Truly a pity for you. If you'd reached 3 flowers gathering at the crown, brother SEO, you could have seen much more. I was thinking the same. But what can I do? My realm is lacking. Still, this must have helped somewhat. Take it home and reflect. By the way, Brother Kim, you must have met a few cultivators by now. I have. To me, the spirit they used looks a lot like the domain you formed. Do you think there's a connection? I do. Within this domain, I feel like I could fight evenly with chi-refining cultivators. Maybe those who've reached OGI Jowan share a perspective similar to cultivators. I see. So it's as I thought, martial artists at OGI Jowan can cultivate like them. Just as a first-rate master and a peak master see entirely different dimensions, the gap between peak realm and OGI Jowan must be beyond imagination. What I saw today will help me when I eventually ascend to OGI Jowan. That day, after learning from Kim Young-hoon, I returned to the palace. Another assassin. A peak master. From his aura, he's only just entered the peak realm. I should be focused on this fight. But I can't get the image of Kim Young-hoon reaching OGI Jowan out of my head. What is sword chi? Proof you've reached unity of sword and body, the mid-stage of a first-rate master. At the peak realm, you always see the optimal path. As long as you follow it, your sword chi will never vanish. The optimal path/C is the ultimate limit of my sword art. Sword chi is my sword art fused with my body, pushed to the extreme. That's what I thought until now. Wait, no. Something doesn't fit. If that's the case, then even the Jiangshi controlled by cultivators, shouldn't they also be able to use sword chi if they learned sword arts? Sword chi is I see. Even though it's born from sword art, it's a core of true martial art will. These red and blue lines weren't just attack paths or enemy intent. They were the martial artist's will, the direction of their intent. The moment realized that, a strange feeling surged through the hand holding my sword. It was like blood vessels sprouting from the blade, piercing into my skin. This isn't the end. If I keep pouring sword intent into IT, then I can manifest it into reality. About 10 years after reaching the peak realm, I advanced to its mid-stage and finally mastered sword threads. A familiar face. One of the Emperor's new handmaidens, just brought in. A peak master already, at that age. If you survive, you could reach 3 flowers gathering at the crown. You're the infinite demon spirit, right? You know me. 10 years ago, I was known as the infinite demon spirit. But at some point, people in Yun Kingdom began calling me the infinite fighting monster. My younger sibling had even more talent than I did. But because of that emperor, emotions won't do. Assassins are killed on sight. That's the rule. Another assassin attack. Infinite fighting monster, you're wrong. The people are dying because of the emperor. He is. My apologies, but in this position, even hesitating for an assassin is a crime. Regretting that, ended such talent with my own hands, I cleaned up the body with my comrades. There was loud commotion, but the emperor still didn't stir in his chambers. The emperor's chambers are sealed with soundproofing spells. As if there's no need to hide that he's a cultivator. But the Imperial Shadow Guard already knows he is. Clean it up properly. Those in the peak realm can see a cultivator's domain at a glance. It was just another mission, so we guarded him without complaint. Still, assassination attempts on the emperor have grown recently. Yet Yun Kingdom has thrived under his rule. There were poor people, but few fell into ruin or became bandits. So who keeps sending assassins after him? And knew my alias, plus, he was from Yun Kingdom. Well, time will tell. My reason for entering the palace was to gather intel on cultivators. 10 years later, I gained the Emperor's trust through constant guarding, and used that authority to gather information from across the palace. True, top-secret access was impossible. But by piecing together government documents, I found a clue about the Cultivator clan. At last, I found the region where the cultivators live. Honestly, it's nearly impossible to get info on them. Still, it's better than my strategist days in the Martial Alliance. And with real combat almost every night, maybe I can even reach 3 flowers gathering at the crown in this life. Next is the Household Registry Report. Year 33 of the Heian calendar, thanks to His Majesty, the number of orphans and beggars has dropped. And bandit groups have vanished. This came from a government office, but why is it so sloppy? The key point is missing. How did the beggars decrease? Did they starve? If masses had starved, I would have known back then. It wasn't just a shift in social status, nor relief from the emperor. They were quietly erased. And there was no famine or war. This is odd. The emperor isn't a sage, but he's competent enough. Then where did all those erased poor go? If even government offices don't know, it may tie back to the cultivator clan. Gaps in information always lead back to them. I'll leave deeper investigation to Kim Young-hoon. Here, the retirement of Kim Young-hoon, First Alliance leader, was held. Many lamented it, but he himself seemed relieved. And for good reason. His resignation meant he had mastered all 6 volumes of the JOSU martial arts record and now set out to find cultivators. You look refreshed. I thought it was an assassin. It's you. You're shadow guard, but your presence feels more like an assassin's. I quickly shared the intel I'd gathered in the palace. As expected, he perked up at mention of the cultivators. I'll tell you some places where they live. Brother Kim, check them out and dig up information. I will. I was curious about them anyway. So, I decided to probe their schemes through Kim Young-hoon. Deputy Leader, North Gate secure. Recently, assassin attacks have decreased. True, they can't send peak masters forever. Assassin at the East Gate. All peak masters. How annoying. Because of that damn shik, my stealth spell won't work right. A cultivator? This is crazy. Are they using cultivators now that they're short on peak masters? It's a cultivator. Everyone on full alert. Fools. You dare challenge me. The peak masters you fought before were only cultivators at Chi Refining Stage 1. But I am one who commands Chi Refining Stage 2. After I kill you all, I'll kill that branch family brat of mockery. You blocked my attack. Just for blocking once, you dare look so bold. A mere worm. Damn it, a barrier. What the hell's going on inside? Did a cultivator break in or something? Go call for reinforcements first. I will cut him down. Just 1 second. If I can evolve sword threads into sword Elira. How many times have I told you? With your power, you can't break this defensive spell. What this lunatic? Damn it. My sword aura, wrung out from all my energy, undone so easily. As expected, without enlightenment, sword aura can't last even a second. How dare you? How dare a worm like you talk about cutting me down? I was going to toy with you before killing that mockery branch brat, but I've changed my mind. I'll run you through. And crush you to death. Deputy Leader. Don't interfere, you worms. No matter how much you resist a cultivator, don't you know you'll just end up trampled like this? Damn it. My organs are wrecked from burning all my energy at once. Still alive, let's see how long you last, worm. Yes. I am no different from a worm. My talent, my skill, even my life. All are worms. What are you begging? But the years I trained, all those times I endured, will not vanish. I figured it out when he used stealth. This guy's never trained his body, never measured distance in battle. He was just born with talent. A guy who only happened to learn spells. I might lose to someone like this. I might fall before him. However, don't tell me the years I endured, all my effort, were just wasted. Don't tell me I'll never reach it. Don't make me give up. A worm's struggle isn't meaningless. This filthy thing. Stop spouting crap and let go of me. Poison. Sword aura to break the barrier was only a decoy. The real strike was the poison on the blade. Damn it. Poison. Give an antidote. Like I let you use. Taste the wrath of the worm you mocked. First, cover his mouth so he can't chant. And block his hands so he can't form seals. Try casting a spell now. The barrier's broken. Get in. You called me a worm. But in death you look no different.